morning, everybody. This is a pleasure and a long time coming to be here for the ribbon cutting for this beautiful facility next to our equally or if not more beautiful museum. So I just want to be sure to thank a few people, and since I didn't want to miss anybody, I have it here. I understand Stephen Chili is here and Jonathan Walco, who are the architects. And is anyone here from Giordano Builders? But they were the builders. And we want to, of course, thank the funders, the Empire State Development and the New York State Department of State for the grant funding. And without grant funding, many of these kinds of projects would not be available. Jim Pinto and the staff, Gene Friedman, they oversaw the grant funding and the design and construction of this building and the plaza's been done as well. So this is a newly landscaped plaza, over 1,800 square feet, visitor center, and it complements an existing renovated historic freight depot, the site of Lincoln's visit to Peekskill in 1861, and I'm sure John Tester will be able to tell more about that. John, of course, is the still chair of the Lincoln Foundation, and they have done a wonderful job doing this in Peekskill. This showed a lot of vision and foresight, and I think John needs a round of applause. Well, having said that, I just want to say personally that I really think this is what volunteerism is all about. This is my third event today, and it's been volunteers straight through. Volunteers are going to move Peekskill forward, and they have been, and we're continuing to move forward. So Peekskill rocks. Okay, I'm turning it over. Oh, most sorry. Councilwoman Vanessa Agudelo, Councilwoman Patricia Riley, Councilman Colin Smith. The gang's here. Oh, and I just want to say the mayor would have definitely been here had he been in town. He's on the West Coast visiting family. And Richard, oh, see, they stand right behind me, I don't see him. And Richard Lyons, our esteemed city manager, does a lion's share of work. Grown, everybody grown. Okay. And our assemblywoman, Sandy Galiff.
We're going to give Sandy her own time in a second here. Well, thank you all for being here, and welcome to the new Lincoln Depot Visitor Center and grounds and plaza and museum and the complex that we all dreamed about back in 2003 when we obtained this property. On behalf of the board of the Lincoln Depot Museum, we have Jeff Sweet here today. Paul Martin and Barbara Karasiotis, our three of us are here. And just to give you a little history, as was mentioned before, this site was very historic in that President Lincoln stopped here on his inauguration trip in 1861. The only location in Westchester that he did stop and speak to the community. Actually, the community as far away as Connecticut traveled here to hear him speak and see him get off the train for the short time that he did. But that sparked a whole movement in Peekskill over 100 years ago, and here we are. Look at what we've been able to accomplish here on this little patch of South Water Street in downtown, in Riverfront Peekskill. Back in 2003, we had a whole revitalization effort going on. This may seem like an isolated island upon itself, but it really wasn't. It was part of a whole plan to start bringing the riverfront more life, connect it with the downtown for business opportunities, use Central Avenue as that vehicle to connect. And this would be the linchpin because of where it's located right at the base of Central Avenue. So we appealed to Governor Pataki at the time and Assemblywoman Sandy Galiff and others, and they got us the money, $8 million for a total waterfront allocation. Part of that went into to form the foundation, which was enable us to renovate and create the museum, and then to also have the funding, which had to be funneled through the city because of the nature of the grants. The city was in charge of this building and the grounds, and here we are, all these years later, finally being able to put it into action, and now we're going to be able to have some wonderful community events here, historic events, as well as working with our local businesses who are already chomping at the bit to partner with us on different things. So it's very, very exciting, and we hope you come back often. But I do want to take a moment to single out Assemblywoman Galiff, who has been a staunch supporter, as I said from the beginning. But this building especially, as it's being turned over to our operational control from the city today, you can see it's just an empty building. So we have to turn this building into something that is going to be useful for not only the museum and the foundation, but the community and all the events we plan on having. Assemblywoman Galiff came to our rescue once again, and she got us a $50,000 grant that now we can implement into creating a really showpiece here. So thank you. So I'd like to turn it over to Assemblywoman Galiff to say a few words because she really deserves the spotlight today.
Absolutely.
Absolutely not. I'm just a part of this whole process. I have to tell you, I have always been an admirer of Abraham Lincoln and President Lincoln. And so, that really was a part of our thinking. And obviously, Governor George Pataki also had that same feeling coming from here. And, many years ago, getting the grant money to be able to have the museum as such a significant part of the community. And I have to say, last night I learned, as many of us did, more about Ulysses Grant, and that was a phenomenal discussion from that perspective. And Teresa Knickerbocker is here in her gorgeous gown, but don't get mud on it. Mayor of Buchanan, but also former president of the Lincoln Society. So, this, for me, it's just been a wonderful thing to see something rise out of, I think it was just plain like old railroad station and dirt, right? Something like that. And to come out, I mean, there have been so many times when we've had special events here at the museum, and we'd see the mounds of dirt and everything else and whatever. So this is just great for all of us. So on behalf of the state of New York, this is a wonderful way for us to use the money that's in our state budget to enable a community to learn more about the history of our country and about the history of their community, because the fact that the president came through twice, right, on the train. The last time was not the best time, but to have been here, and there were very few places where this happens. And my understanding is that there just aren't museums like this in this area at all for President Lincoln. Am I right?
You're correct.
This is this is so unique. So it's bringing people from all over to come here, and it's just great. So it's just marvelous to be a part of this. Thank you very much.
Well, thank you again for being here. I want to thank the city manager and I had a number of meetings and staff over the course of the past number of months. And the city manager has really been a supporter as well, and he helped us get to where we are today. And the council members supporting us throughout the past year to get all the approvals that needed to be done. So we're very, very thankful to everyone, and we're looking to have a wonderful time here at the Lincoln Depot Museum and Plaza and Visitor Center. So If you're not part of our mailing list, please sign up. You can go on our website, LincolnDepotMuseum.org, to sign up and see our events coming up. We're going to have a lot of events this weekend included. It's action-packed. General Grant will be back tomorrow on Sunday, so stop by. We're going to wrap it up in this room, and we're going to go outside and actually cut the ribbon and make it official. So join us outside. Thank you very much.